So moving on a little bit on the SL. Got carried away. I wasn't going to do anything on the frame until I got the engine back together to test, so I could put it in and run it. But I've ordered a big bore kit, so I've only put this back temporarily. They just drop them on, no rings and nothing, no piston, just to keep everything in one lump. But forks were the next bit, so obviously these were leaking, and obviously I want to put new seals in there, actually splitting everything, the dust covers. So I'm going to pull this apart and see what they look like inside. Hopefully they're not bent. So let me set you up and get set up, and we'll just see how easy it is to pull one of these forks apart. So fully armed with my soft jaws, I need to take the nut. I could have undone that nut while it was in the clamps on the bike. So you've got to be careful not to over tighten these, because they're quite thin wall tubing. So we're on a 17 for that. And we're off. So there is an O-ring. I've drained these, by the way. I drained them overnight. So there's the little drain screw. So this should be fairly empty inside. So there is no spring tension. I can feel now it's off the O-ring. So there's a little cap and O-ring. So let's have a look at the spring go. Oh, progressive springs, same as the rear shocks. No rust, no water. That's a good start. Let's just get them over there. Nice and oily. Should have put my gloves on. And this should just, it's already split this, so it should just, and it does just pop off. And this is just a dust seal. No way is this going to stop any oil from coming out. But both of these forks are leaking. And there's the cap on the floor, no worries. So what have we got in here? We've got a circlip, big circlip in here. Don't know if you can catch that. So I need some big-ish internal pliers, circlip pliers, which we've got. He said internals. Here we go. So set of 90 internals. So if I grip this lightly on the aluminium, again just enough to hold it, very easily damaged, and it should get in there. Maybe. And we're in. So it's on the tube, so it can't flick off in my eye because I've got no eye protection. And we're out. That was easy. And we're off. So a circlip, and then there's the seal. So I'm going to have to kind of like slide hammer this off. So if I carefully, with the soft jaw on the floor, if I carefully grip this in the soft jaws, like so, I should be able to, excuse me, I should be able to slide hammer the seal out using the weight of the leg So I'm going to use the full width of the jaws, so I can put a little bit more pressure on there, but not too much so I don't damage anything. Okay. I think it's moving. Whoa. And there we are. So according to the parts book, there is a damper tube inside in this end, which I probably don't need to take out because there's nothing in there, it's just a tube held in by a screw at the bottom. And unusual, normally now the modern alley bottoms are just machined to this size and the whole of the tube becomes the bush, but this has got a bottom bush which looks like it's steel. Yeah, and it's held in with a couple of snap rings which I don't need to take off, and there's the top bush which is aluminium, and there's a backing washer behind it. So all I need to see, I mean I did check them before I pull them out the yokes, is there how much play, or is there any play in there? If I support them both on the bush, and there is no visible, or I can't feel any play in there. So I would say just seals up to now will do that, but what I've got to do is I've just got to see if there's any bend in this. Hopefully there isn't, because apparently you can't get these on the SL. Whether the CG is the same fork or whatever, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I want to spin it up in the lathe anyway, and I want to polish. There is a couple of pit marks in it, but I want to polish them with a bit of wet and dry in the lathe. So let's set it up for that, and we'll be back in a second. Okay, we're set up in the lathe, so I've got it. I'm only gripping it here, that's where the top yoke clamps, and I've just got a live centre up the bottom, and there is a little bit of run out in it. Unfortunately, there's not a great deal I can do about that. And there's no new ones available, and obviously I could have a try with the V-blocks. I'd normally put some cardboard, stick cardboard in the bottom of the two V-blocks on the bottom, one V-block on the top, and just use the hydraulic press if they're bad. But I mean, it's very little, and they're certainly not tight. There's no tight spots because they generally bend. If there's the bottom, if that was the top yoke, that was the bottom yoke. If they've been involved in an impact, they normally bend there because that's the greatest leverage point. So the area where they generally run up and down inside the where the stanchions run in the sliders, they're generally good. Anyway, so I normally just give it a rub. I've got some wire wool, so I can just feel the pitting, and if you push on it hard enough and work on it, you can just take the high spots away. There's a bit there and there's a bit there, and it's smoothing out quite well, because otherwise they'll just damage the seals, scratch the seals. And then I just put a bit of compound on there. And this is a very, very fine abrasive what you use when you've been spraying a car body and you want to flat it off when it's finished. I'll buff it to a shine. And that feels very smooth now. So just let me give it a quick wipe down with a towel. And I can feel any imperfection with the towel, and it does feel good actually. I would be, even though it's not perfect, it would be nice for it to be straight. Hopefully the other one's no worse than this one. And that's it. So if the other one hopefully is as good as, these will be going back. If the other one's got any more deflection in it than this one, then I will have a go on the press. And if it does need doing, we'll have a 5-minute video on that to see what it looks like. But they're ready now to go back. New seal, new wiper, same with the other one, and seal. The forks are done. So hopefully the engine bits will be coming within the next few days, and as soon as they do, we'll be back on the engine. So we'll catch you in a short while on the next video.